Welcome to Bronyville. This is Bronyville episode number 65, recorded on July 28th, 2012. I am your host, Cider. Hello, everyone listening, no matter where you are, be it listening on iTunes, listening in your audio device of choice. If you're listening live on the Justin TV stream at justin.tv/Bronyville podcast, hello, limey-wimey. Hello everyone there that is watching us along. So it's great doing another show of this. We're gonna talk pony. It's kind of what we do.
Yay, ponies!
Hey, Sandy's here.
I am here.
Hey, Sheffers, how you doing?
I'm still alive. It has been a magical week, let me tell you.
Yes, it has been. It's been crazy.
Yes.
It's the wrap up for like the other two conventions, so things are bouncing along, getting stuff organized. And with any stuff that happens, at least, you know, be nice about it. A smile.
Yes.
Yep.
You'll smile, smile, smile.
Yep. Just move along, everything good.
So, hey, it's us right now. We're going to be calling in our guest, Emmett Hall, here in about half an hour. We're going to be running through our usual nonsense, our sponsors and news and fanfic, and then we'll give our guest a call. So it'll just be AC and I for the first little bit. I sure hope you guys can handle that.
I don't think they can. They're gonna just shear right off, just gone out of the sun. And for those listening, Emmett Hall is not the QC Canadian jurist, civil liberties advocate. He is actually one of the storyboarders for My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, as well as other shows that he has worked on before.
He also does involved with the sketch comedy group The Sunday Service, and does a podcast called A Beautiful System, which is available on iTunes.
Yes, a beautiful podcast. You know, I listened. It's actually pretty good. Like, I am a podcast snob, like when it comes to comedy stuff. And at the first 30 seconds, I was like, I don't know, but popped it in. It was actually good. So, yeah, that's. We'll talk to him in a little bit. Really excited. Good to have somebody over from the DHX Studio B back in on the show. So, good deal. And someone we haven't heard from before, too, which is really neat. Let's see. I need to pull up his IMDb. That way I make sure I have everything. So, we don't have we don't have the anybody to do the intros, favorite character, favorite episode. We'll obviously get that later. So, yep. Sandy Face, we first should probably go ahead and start with our sponsors.
Yep. Our guys over at We Love Fine have added some fine new product this week. You can use our coupon code Bronyville10 to get 10% off your purchase. They have added in some pretty cool looking iPhone cases. That's really honestly something I could really go for. And they've got, they put 6 different cases. Because they did them for the 3 and the 4.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the Doctor Who's, a DJ Pone 3, which is done in the style of Tron, and then the really nice Falling Ponies design.
No, one's for an iPod.
Yeah, one's iPod, iPhone, iTouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're two different types on that. But the fun thing is, they actually have some of their demo models out now. You can get them. This is their short run of them, so if you really want to jump in, all of the DJ Pone 3 are totally gone.
Yeah, the Friendship Freefall has, at this point in time, it's 2:19 p.m. on Saturday, 4 left. So by the time you hear this, if you're not a live listener, you're probably out of luck.
Oh, no.
Till they bring out the next row.
Yeah.
Also, there's a couple of new Nouveau-style shirts with Pinky and Dash, done by the fantastic Keza.
Hooray! Always stuff just popping up on there, and they've got those detailed hoodies. If you want one that's just straight up ready for cosplay, you can do that. But yeah, all the stuff over at We Love Fine, we love them because we love fine. Next.
Oh, they also have a Derpy the Mailmare shirt.
Really?
Yep.
Have to scroll and see that. The delivering the mail. Yeah, I see that one over his shoulder. I like the Fluttershy with the multiple reaction faces. That was really, really cool. Okay, who else are our sponsors, Sandy?
Oh, we also got the guys up at Everfree Northwest. We've been supporting those guys since day one, and we're going to be doing lots of shenanigans at the event. You should check it out. They recently reopened their registration for a short period of time, and I really am starting to wonder. It's gonna be big.
Oh, yeah.
They're spreading into there's 2 hotels, and I remember back in the day, they were like, "Oh man, if we get 300, it'll be great." Yeah, it's a few more than 300 guys, so they're gonna be doing pretty good, and we're gonna be doing lots of stuff outside of our 2 panels that we're on the schedule for.
Correct. Panels that are scheduled for 8 p.m. on Friday in the Washington room. And I'm told that both of these are able to fit about 300 people. So Friday from 8 to 10 is what we're slated. I think we'll just go to midnight. I don't care. We'll just take over that room. We'll see if we can do that.
That'll be the Cider suite for
there
that
you
night.
go. That you know what? That's probably the best thing to do is just do the show live on that day in that room until they kick us out and don't want us there anymore. And then on Sunday at 12:30 to 1:30, we have a Bronyville Everfree wrap-up. So we're going to want to talk to everybody that is at Everfree Northwest and find out what awesome stuff they did. So, we got 2 things that were slated, hopefully going to get some more. But that is Everfree Northwest. You can find that at everfreenw.com. And as said, registration at this time is still, for the very short time, open for business.
All right, and moving on is our other sponsors, Candlelight Gardens. We are going to be doing some MC stuff at the con. We don't have a table this time around, so we'll be bopping and weaving around the con, and hopefully on stage we'll be doing AC and I together on stage doing the Jay and Silent Bob.
As we do.
Yep. By the way, I'm totally planning on directing like Silent Bob.
Oh
so
man,
I gotta have to do Jay.
I gotta do Jay.
I'm the short, fat one. You're the tall, skinny one.
I can weave. Yeah, come on, man, come on. I have to go back and watch him, but yeah, we could totally do that.
Yep. It's going to be really hard to MC with just my eyes.
Someone please bring a quick stop sign. That's all I'm saying. Just so we can put it behind us. Just we'll have our own just Kevin Smith podcast in the Pony Con there.
Yes.
Just like, wait, what? Kevin Smith hears about this. He's like, wait, they did what? Get those 2 on my show.
Oh. If you insist, Mr. Smith.
Oh, all right, Kevin Smith, if you say so. Gah, pull me by the strings, why don't you? All right, let's do it. So yes, that is Candlelight Gardens, and they're adding people all the time.
Once they finally got onto their page, their website guy, they make sure they noted that they have Peter New and Daniel Ingram, and Daniel McRae, who's a voice actress in for other stuff that is not Pony. Oh, really? She was Hagra the Stormbinder? Okay, that's weird. So Daniel McRae is the orc shaman boss. It's the 4th one in Dragon Soul. So just so you know, if you've killed her over and over and over, as everyone pretty much has, you can meet the voice actor.
I've grinded you. Like,
yes. That doesn't sound creepy at all.
No, please move along, sir.
Yep.
All right.
Moving on to the news.
Yeah, news time. So, Sandy, the question I should probably always ask, is everything on fire?
There are parts that are smoldering.
Oh, smoldering. All right.
Smoldering, but this first bit of news is why.
Oh.
Well, initially. Now, hang on.
Okay.
So, the Nerdist interviewed Megan McCarthy.
Uh-huh.
Going into the news.
Did you listen to it, Sandy?
I haven't had a chance to listen to it.
I did.
Guys over at Derpy Hooves News went through and pointed out the relevant parts. I've had a real busy week. I didn't have a chance to catch up on a lot of stuff. So 13 episodes for season 3 confirmed. Oh my god. Sweet Celestia, we're gonna die. Oh wait, no, probably not.
We're doomed.
So they're doing 13 episodes instead of the usual 26, which means could mean they're putting more time and effort into each episode. Could be either be more awesome individually, or they could be taking half their budget and putting it towards something else.
They're making hour-long shows. It's Battlestar Galactica Pony.
Oh goodness. But it was a rundown of the panel. Also include a couple of people. So there's going to be 13 episodes. They talk about how there are differences between staff freelance writers, give some influences, and says she loves our fantastic little community here. And that positivity is a wonderful and important aspect to her. So, 13 episodes for season 3. We've kind of done this for a bit, but we shall see what happens. At least 13 more episodes of Pony at minimum.
Yep. So, since I listened to it, there was a lot of really kind of neat stuff that was in that. They had not only did they have Megan, of course, but they had the creative directors for Phineas and Ferb on. So they were talking a lot about what they do and working and how they pitched their show and how they eventually got on Disney and the kind of the process. If you're ever at all interested of just the writing process and how you pitch a show, I would highly recommend it because it was so like crazy informative of just like, oh, okay, this is how they work. And it was also really interesting of how different they work because the Phineas and Ferb's guys were like, yeah, we get like everybody together and we get, we got this panel, we all go into a room and then we're working on this and, these people are bouncing ideas off of each other. And then Megan goes up and she's just like, I am in my house alone in my room, like, trying to Skype with people and emailing and trying to make like she's just so isolated opposed to the way that the Phineas and Ferb guys do it. And it was really kind of like, wow, that's kind of interesting the way that she dictates how her style of writing for the show is completely different than the way that they do it. And I think that's just the differences between the resources that that Studio B and the Hub have, opposed to what Disney has, which you can only imagine. So I highly recommend it. I would go check out that recording because it actually was massively informative. So that is the Nerdist writing panel. It was really, really cool. Like I appreciated just finding out how that all got put together. And she's from Atlanta. Woo! Pumped my fist when I heard that. So good going, Megan.
Very cool. So the next bit of news is that ponies are up and profits are down for Hasbro's second quarter.
That is smoldering.
That is a little bit smoldering. Now, bear in mind that the net revenue is still $811 million.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, that's down from $908 million from second quarter 2011. So they did have some net earnings. There is some money out there for the shareholders. Operating profit is a little bit higher than last year. And basically it boils down to everything but preschool toys is down. Boys is down 16%, games are down 8%, girls is 13%. However, the net revenues overall, My Little Pony is one of the few products that apparently grew. So their pony segment is really good. And the rest of the girls stuff kind of launch a bunch of girl stuff that none of us are going to be interested in, but they've got a bunch of products lined up for the fall. And hopefully that will push their profits back towards where they would like them to be, because a healthy company means, product that we like. Now, their interesting thing is that their entertainment and licensing segments was actually up 59%. So the entertainment and the licensing, that is to say the licensing of things like iPhone cases and shirts and making plush toys and all that stuff, that's up a ridiculous amount.
A huge amount. Stuff is up.
The operating profit for them, for the licensing part, was $8.2 million of profit as opposed to $600,000 last year, same time. So they're finding that at least if they're paying attention to us and licensing their stuff out, we will throw money at them.
Yeah, we've kind of seen that.
That's the good news that we can throw out of this.
So we need to. This Darkly Gear says, yes, we do need to buy more pony to fix everything. We need next quarter. They're going to expect even more from us.
Well, it's just good to see that entertainment and licensing. Now, that's not purely pony. That's other things as well. But with the growth in the pony being as it is, we do have at least a good part to play in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I mean, we are. We are up on that, and how many people do you think that the licensing bit of it, We Love Fine stuff like that has we have watched We Love Fine go from this place of just like, we've got a few shirts, we made these 4 My Little Pony designs, so see if you guys like it. We're just a short run, to just having, we have everything, whatever, like, here, have things. Tons of things. And I mean, and they have all the Hasbro, like the Star Wars and, Gem and all that stuff. So, I mean, they've pretty much turned into a one-stop, like, retailer for all, like, Hasbro merchandise and really high stuff. So,
and speaking of product, though, I mean, I'll admit that yesterday I spent over $100 on pony merch.
What'd you get?
Admittedly, half of it's not for me, half of it's for Zyro. Because I happened to go to a Target that had the My Little Pony 3-packs and the little plush and the Shining Armor and Cadence fashion size. I'm not one for the bigger toys, but I love the little pocket ponies, and I managed to pick all those up. And let me tell you something about these little $5 plush that they got. That they're not kid-sized. They're really small, Beanie Baby size. They're about the size of a fashion pony in terms of plush. So this isn't something that like a kid would sleep with, as you would think. It's not teddy bear sized. They are, however, desk size, cubicle size, back window of your car sized.
Sit on your desk at work size.
Sit on your desk at work and infuriate your pony hating friends, coworkers sized. And they're really cute. I mean, the mains are kind of weird, but they're cute little $5 plush, and they're exactly what I would expect for a $5 plush. And they're cute, and now they have their own little shelf on my desk.
Yay! Let me check.
My pony shrine.
I'll have to see those. I admit to not actually seeing them yet, though I did hear you talk about them. I'm like, that sounds really good. I just get those at work. People ask questions. I just kind of move on,
Yeah,
But I have a lot of
one.
weird stuff.
Yeah, there's a Twilight one, there's a Dash one, and a Pinky one. So
Those are all pretty mostly decent ponies, yeah.
Yeah, and now I have to say that the miniature 3 sets, they're all unique sculpts. So they're kind of, I guess they're taking a bit of a risk on these. But like the Gilda's really big compared to the ponies, and like the surprise Wonderbolt, she's a different sculpt than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Shining Armor is a different body than Big Mac. And obviously Granny Smith is a unique one.
Oh yeah.
And we've seen on Equestria Daily that there's a Zakora one, which all my money for that, and a Spa Pony one. So we can probably expect in the next few, maybe Fluttershy Creature Zakora, or you have Rarity with the Spa Ponies, and then Pinky with the cakes or something. I don't know.
The cakes and the babies would be cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Cake has a great design of just kind of very angular. I like that. Very, very chiseled jaw. All right, well that's cool. So yeah, good to hear that that it's up on that. So what's this? We got a list here, and actually, let me make sure I share this out to our watching audience so that they can follow along.
This is not really news, and it's more a community resource. This was posted by Wonderwing94, one of the new guys over at DHN, and he compiled a massive list of people to stalk on Twitter.
Yay!
This from directors and producers, Lauren Faust, Jason Thiessen, James Wooten, to the writers, to the cast, to the animation department, to the music department, and then other crew. So there's a whole 20 people that you can follow and be like, tell me about ponies.
What are your secrets?
So check it out. It's, if you really want to follow these people, because I mean, like Amy Keating Rogers, M.A. Larson, Meg McCarthy, they're always talking about the stuff. They're like, M.A. Larson's a really funny guy. He'll interact with fans all the time. Mm-hmm. So
Andrea interacts a lot too. You send something kind of interesting her way, and she'll just react to you for a while. I was like, oh, dag, hey Andrea, what's up? That's it's neat talking. I said one of the weirdest, neatest part about this whole fandom is the fact that you can actually like somewhat interact with these people that are making this stuff. Like when we started this, that was like the coolest part of this entire thing of just like, oh yeah. I mean the guy Jason Thiessen's got a Twitter and he talks to you sometimes. It's like what? So yeah, it's kind of the cool thing. So all right, you got a list there. Of course, stalk being a generalized term. Please do not
don't actually stalk anybody, please. We don't want to scare them off.
I found this picture of Pinkie Pie for you. No, just stop. No, cut it. No.
So moving on.
Yes, please.
We've got Fighting is Magic gets noticed on Indie Games Mag. It's a indie game review, preview, news, and download site talking about Fighting is Magic. And this is basically somebody doing a write-up that they saw it at EVO and thought it was mechanically very solid and really cool. There's obviously an embedded video, and the comments themselves are actually pretty nice. There's no, oh, look at these creepy pedos or anything like that. It's, wow, that looks good. So
I want to hit all the pony.
Yeah, I really, really am looking forward to this game. So hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to Mechanic Gardens.
All right, super cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Considering if we actually do play, you are going to whip me so bad because I am not good at fighting games, but it is worth it. It would be worth it. Yeah.
So,
and you missed one there on the list, at least. There was a poem.
Oh, right. Dang it. William Anderson did a poem on Seasons. So this is just sort of those, oh, William Anderson, what are you going at? And this is it. Seasons. There are many of them. Some of them shorter than others, perhaps for special reasons, to be followed by other long seasons. Seasons. Many seasons. What does it mean? Double seasons all the way.
Well, we've heard rumblings of. I wish to address this pretty quick. There is no earthly, logical reason why Hasbro would go, My Little Pony is up, let's cancel that show. There is no logical reason to do that.
Yeah. So, what does it mean? Well, it probably means that there's going to be additional seasons after 3.
Yes.
But their initial run was going to be a 65, and then we'll see what happens. Because that 65 is the magic number in a lot of ways. But a lot of shows have hit that 65 and then kept on going. So, because there's also syndication. I
mean, we've heard a lot of rumblings of particular things, and it's it could be that that you got season 3 and that there'd be a season 4 that would come, quicker right after it. So that was kind of some of the things. We've heard rumblings of maybe direct to DVD, or there's been a lot of it could be this, it could be that, but all indications that we are hearing from our lofty position on high is that don't be 13 episodes, no, it's okay, it's okay, don't worry, it's trust us, it is okay. It's actually probably for the better.
Yeah, so I mean, there's going to be lots of ponies, and then we'll deal with what happens when it happens.
Hasbro might have 99 problems, but a mare ain't one. So
Oh, I see. So, moving on to our last bit of news before we bust through fanfics and get our guest on here is Fallout Equestria gets books. And by books, I mean, holy crap, this is amazingly huge.
Yes.
You could kill somebody with this collected tome.
You could kill him with 1 out of 5.
So, I think that is ridiculous and ridiculously awesome, first of all. I'm not a big fan of the post-apocalyptic, grim derp, everybody's dead kind of world, even though I've read part of it. Yeah. But there are people out there that really, really like this, and that's cool. And I think it's really cool that they got hardcover bound and at least they split it into 5 separate hardcovers, because otherwise it would just kill somebody to produce. Unfortunately, it's on Facebook, and I'm like, check out the hub page, click it, and you must log in to see this page. So I don't have Facebook.
Well,
so
I have logged in. I have the information. So if you look at the pictures that they provided, everything's the black hardbounds. They've already made like the soft covers for them. So just ones you can wrap right around it. If you want this set, though, first off, the first run is over. So I don't think they're going to do ones later. But to give you an idea of how much getting this set's going to cost you, because each of these are individual ordered and printed, $73 for the book cost, about $7 for the shipping, $2 for the packaging, $1 for a screw-up fund, and a $3 transaction fee. So you're looking at somewhere around $85 to get the set of books.
Yeah, but that's also 5 hardcovers that look fairly decently big. Mm-hmm. You know, that's like comparing it. It's longer than Harry Potter, I think. You know, I wouldn't, maybe not, but it's longer than Lord of the Rings, and you would pay $25 for a nice hardcover version of that. So, you know, if you really like this and love to have some hardcover pony, you know, because I know that like Inky, you know, if there weren't questions about the viability of publishing fanfic, he would be all up about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
and they've got they've got a whole bunch of information about like what's the money doing. Money's going to go to charity. And there's then like, is X person going to be mad at you for this? We can't say yes or no. You know, the cat's permission, the original writer. How that is. So yeah, they've got a bunch of information. If you can navigate the wild world of Facebook, it is at facebook.com/group/Fallout Equestria, with Fallout and Equestria both capitalized. But yeah, you can go check it out and get that big stack of books. And they did say something about the 4th book got waterlogged. So they are having to reprint some of those because of water damage. So.
Yep. All right. So that did for the news this week. Move on to books real quick. Our fanfic suggestions. AC, you have one this week?
Yes. All right. Question to people in the chat and those listening at home. Do any of you enjoy Futurama?
Ooh. I'll wave my hand.
What is that, Sandy? You enjoy Futurama? All right. the chat just exploded. So there was an episode of Futurama, and I'm trying to remember the actual name of it, but Farnsworth has this what if machine that will allow you to see alternate realities based off of, you know, I want to see what life would be if blank. And just so happens that Twilight has that particular machine. So she has a what if machine. And they go down into Twilight's, you know, basement, and then they go and ask the what if machine, what if, for instance, Rarity says, what if every pony wore clothes all the time? And so here's these little stories. There you go. Tales of Interest. So yes, this is Anthology of Interest. Yeah, it's just these questions of what would happen if this happened or that happened. So it's these neat little, just like completely comedy pulled out of the normal canon, just like ability to be like, all right, this is what I guess they've got: a Applejack and the Beanstalk, Pinkie Pie destroys the universe, God Empress, Fluttershy. So it goes off in some many interesting, odd directions. But if
Rainbow Dash's turn sucks. Aw.
and so yeah, it's got very high ratings on FimFiction, 395 thumbs up with 4 thumbs down. And so you should probably go check that MLP Anthology of Interest.
My choice for books this week is the now completed 130,000 word total story Anthropology by Jason the Human, featuring everyone's favorite minty unicorn. So Lyra in her search for humans, it's like her hunting Bigfoot, except she knows that the humans exist.
Oh.
So it is, seriously, it's 130,000 words. It's got 3,234 likes, 69 dislikes, and 5,700 comments. So, yeah, it's it's long. It's really well received and totally something that can be put into a book. So there we go. It's topic time. Let's
Anthropology.
See if we can
Yep. All right, that's cool. Those are your fics for this week. Stuff that you can go through and get your pony fix for a while. I have to hit a button. I need to add someone to a conference here. So let me go ahead and do this. And I just hit the button. Here comes Emmett.
Dun 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 dun.
Emmett, sir, you're here.
You can hear me?
We can hear you a little bit. You might want to boost up your auto just a hair.
How's that?
Oh, you're perfect. You're coming through loud and clear.
Okay.
Awesome.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, man. We'll just break it down and be real casual right now, and then we'll kick back into the regular show stuff just to get things going. All right.
So yeah, I'm live right now though, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
correct?
You're
Yes,
right.
we are live.
You're live. This gives a little bit of time to everyone in the chat. We've got I forget to see the actual number of listening, but yes, hello Emmett, and they are saying hello and everything to you. So they are nice and clean shaven, as they said. Tetra is saying hello.
So we got about 100 people watching.
I want to say
right
hi. Hi to all the live listeners out there. What do you think? There's what, 20,000 people out there right now listening live?
Oh yeah.
25,000?
Totally.
At least, we're at max. We filled them to the walls here. So the internet walls are actually really straining, but we were able to, forget breaking internet fire code.
All right.
So
I won't worry too much then.
okay. Yep. Just hoping. Yep. Fire codes. All right. So we can go ahead and just move this forward. Hey everyone, we got Emmett Hall with us. Hello, Emmett.
Hi there.
Yeah, awesome to have you on, Emmett.
Yeah, I guess it's about time. I guess this took a little while. I think with a lot of back and forth with you.
Yeah, so you
trying to get this
first.
organized.
Yeah, you first reached out to us, and you're like, "Hey, we just wanted to pimp the Sunday service, and talk about your show and your podcast, which a beautiful podcast. There you go.
Yeah, 80% of the reason for my appearance here today is just complete self-indulgence, self-promotion. I'll get that out of.
Hey, that's what we do around here.
That podcasts themselves are simply self-indulgent, I would say.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way of pointing it out. Yeah, I mean, you guys have you've been talking for about an hour with getting things revved up for the show, or how does this work? You guys,
we have went through the rest of the section, so we talked about the fandom news. We talked about any particular. We start off with some fanfic, so stuff people can read between the episodes, and then we have you on to talk about wonderful things, and then we do emails, and then we close out the show.
Okay.
So we have you here today, of course, and I do have to say I did listen to the podcast that you have.
Okay.
I am
an episode or two.
Yeah, I will admit to being a podcast snob. I would say of giving the minute and a half. I don't know. Unsubscribe. Trust me, it was a really good show. Like I will likely keep listening, because at first I was like, I don't know, and then it's a funny program. So you guys do a good job.
It's a little different. It's rather than hanging out and talking, it's more kind of sketch comedy sort of stuff. So it's for a little bit of an attention span just to kind of get into the kind of the weird universe we set up with the beginning of the show, and then going into the sketches and all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's tricky. I mean, we've been doing it for about a year, and it's pretty interesting trying to get a gauge of what is expected from the listeners, or what I should expect back, kind of thing. And it's such a weird, fresh medium that I'm sure you guys are experiencing all that, especially with talking instantaneously with your listeners as you do it live, kind of thing.
Yeah, we were. I mean, we're both originally from just record it, isolated. You're talking just to the people who are the panelists themselves, and we just recently started doing the live stuff where we actually have all the listeners, and it's a neat little like change where it's just like somebody will just straight jump something in, and you're like, that's a great comment. Let me say that. So the people who will actually listen to this later will actually like know why we are laughing our heads off.
Okay.
I am laughing out of context. That is weird. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and then when you came across with that podcast, I do have to give all the credit to getting you on with Starry Night, my lovely girlfriend and quasi producer, being like, you should keep talking to him about getting him on the show, and I'm like, okay. Yeah,
have you guys had a lot of the crew, the storyboard, My Little Pony crew on the show?
Sandy, who all have we had on?
Well, let's see. We've talked to Jason. We flew out when he was a guest at Animation on Display. We've talked to Sibsy and Raven. We have talked to what's his name? We had the VAs Andrea, Nicole, and Ashley. At BronyCon January, and
we also talked to Daniel at BronyCon through Skype, so we had them.
Oh man! Oh, you guys got the goods already.
We did. We've done the tour of the world, but we still want more. That's why we have to have you on.
I'll have to admit, my ignorance towards a lot of the Bronyverse and just the My Little Pony universe is going to become quite apparent with the questions you ask me, especially compared to like Sibsy and Raven and those guys who are really invested into the whole thing and the whole process. It's I might be asking you guys more questions than you asked me.
You know what? I would have absolutely no problem with that, because that's kind of the way that we like our show to be, is just a dialogue. I would be more than willing to explain you the weird intricacies and quirks about this fandom as much as to find out the stuff over on your side. So that is completely cool. I'll actually start with this one, if you don't mind. When did you find out that there was like this weird internet culture behind the show?
I guess it was pretty early on. I didn't start working on My Little Pony until season 2. That's when I started. So I think it was maybe a couple of weeks into that. That's when I first heard about it. It was just suggestions of it, and then basically at work, often will happen was they'll send out kind of a broadcast through our instant messaging system saying, here's another article, or here's another level of fanaticism about the show, and then it all started kind of snowballing from there. you were just
get a load of these.
It's just like, wait, are these things like constant? Is this how like wait this always rolls in? No, that's.
It was I guess it was, how long ago did this start? Because the whole 4chan thing that kind of got this thing on a roll. Is that
Sandy as show historian?
Yes. Yeah. So back in the day, right? This is in the very first part of season 1, where it finally really hit people's radars after that one MS article, MS Magazine, where somebody wrote this really completely uninformed, ridiculous commentary saying that ponies was smart shaming and racist and other such nonsense.
Yep.
And Lauren wrote a "What are you smoking?" type response, and that garnered her a lot of respect from the rabble on the comics and cartoon board of 4chan. And then it snowballed out of control into this, everyone's paying attention. Wow, this is actually really quite good for a cartoon. And then here we are today you're on episode 65 of My Little Pony podcast. Because I got my pony started off 4chan, and here we are today.
So did you guys decide that how was it, kind of a chicken or the egg thing with you guys starting the podcast? Or did you decide, hey, there's a community out there, we can get a podcast going? Or did you say, I think we could start a community, let's start a podcast? And then
basically we decided to start the podcast because both AC and I were annoying our friends to no end, just talking about this fantastic thing called ponies. So since we've known each other for a long time, we decided that we're going to start a podcast. And we were probably the first podcast in the pony community. And there's a lot now, but we started out first thing, and because, hey, we like to talk. And what do we like to talk about? The things we like, and we like ponies.
Mm-hmm. And we had both done both done podcasts in the past, though independently on different shows. So we knew each other just in passing, and we were just noticing each other's Twitter streams going, wow, we both are really into this. We need to talk about this sometime with microphones in front of us. And it just started going from there. So, it just was kind of like, it wasn't one of these things where it's like, let's start a community. The first idea was like, let's just get this off of our chests so that our significant others do not murder us. And then
pretty much.
And then we just said that.
But I
felt
guess Starry's
good.
right.
Yeah,
I was just saying Starry's right in the thick of it as well. Then, eh?
She is watching the stream and touring some stuff. She's got the laptop right now that's doing all the live stream stuff, and she's listening in. And she stays silent for the most part, but she helps out where she can. So,
And was she thrown in? Did you have to convince her, or was she right there right from the beginning as well?
Sweetie, do you want to state your case on why you got into this? Nope, she's shaking her head.
Okay.
With her it was she just doesn't like to talk on the mic. It was like at first it's just like, really, you're gonna make a show out of this? But she loves horses herself. She had My Little Ponies in the past, so. She's just like, after a while, she warmed up to it and went like, okay, this is going to be a constant thing, and I get myself small plastic equines. I think I'm okay to deal with this. So,
all right.
She warmed up to it, and she has her own little fan following on this show for keeping me in line. So, that is her particular benefit. Let's see if just to table back to a question for you, and then we can tic-tac right back to you for a question for us.
Absolutely.
Because I think this works really well. I was listening, so Megan McCarthy did a podcast on The Nerdist where she talked a lot about the writing side, and we've had Sibsy and Raven on in the past, which was really, really cool, where they talked a lot about, the storyboarding process and what they do. And it was kind of neat to hear, at least from the writer's side, how that entire process of, making the show kind of become live and, doing everything to bring it up from the writing perspective. I wanted to know, what all are you and the storyboarding team involved with when it comes to kind of pulling out the show? Are you there in, like, I've heard things to the extent of you being then there with the VAs when they're recording, kind of to get a sense and a feel. So what's like the common story? Like how does the storyboard process kind of go?
Well, in terms of being present for the voice records, I think I've been privy to one myself, but that was just a novelty kind of thing. But usually how it works is the script's already written, the voice record is done, and the design department has done kind of a loose design of all the new characters and new locations for the script, and then we basically, as a storyboard artist, get all that as a package. So we get the script, the voice record, all the new designs of characters and locations and prominent props, and then we just kind of like compile it into the blueprint that's going to be the storyboard.
Okay, so
From there, we will sit down. And actually, before all that actually happens, I guess I should say that we sit down with our directors, whether it's Jason Thiessen or James Wooten, and those guys will say, "All right, we've all read the script. Let's go through it together in a meeting," and they will discuss major plot points, major things that need to be hit, moods they want to set, things to avoid, things to enhance. We might do things, certain areas might actually have to get cut out of the script because it goes on for a little long. We might have to decide, or we might have come up with brand new ideas, thinking like, what would really push this plot point is if this happened. So we make a note of it, and potentially we'll have to do, voice record pickups later, kind of thing. So there's that meeting, and then we, as storyboard artists, we go off into our little room, isolated area for several weeks, and just churn stuff out until the directors nag us to see what we're doing.
I'm just imagining a whole like floor of just like of scribbles of just like, toss that one, nope, toss that one. That was kind of what it sounded like with theirs, of just like, the process of taking the so they give you kind of a full, like, they give you the package of all the voices of the story, so you pretty much have like all the stuff, and you just have to kind of hit the beats on each of those, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. And then, it's because all the stuff that's what the writers write is literally written, as we're depicting all that visually, we're going to run into inevitable problems just because things translating from the written word into a cartoon don't always translate perfectly. So a lot of times, as the board artist, you're going to have to figure out solving those problems, coming up with new ideas, making sure to pass it by the directors before you move to a finished product. Just because, so there's you're kind of also an editor in a visual way, in addition to putting everything down in that kind of comic book blueprint format.
And do you get like when this is actually an interesting point, when there's something, for instance, along the lines of like a sight gag, are those usually things that are indicated in the script, or is that something where you guys go, no, I think it would be really cool at this point where these two characters kind of look at each other, give faces to each other, and then move on to the next little part? Like, how much liberty do you have with those particular pieces?
I'd say we get a lot of liberty for that. I'd say every once in a while, there's sight gags and stuff like that and moments that are written in for sure by the script. But what's great about My Little Pony is that it's got that. They encourage that creative liberties that you can take and really amp up the humor and the emotional moments. And I'd say anything that's a visual gag or something that's mildly subtle is probably going to have been put in by the storyboard artist, depending on which storyboard artist you ask, I guess. Some people will go crazy with it, and other people will kind of just stick to the script. And then it's up to the directors to kind of like siphon out or pour more in according to the result they get from the storyboard artist's kind of like first draft of the storyboard, so to speak. I have to say that this is the first show that I've actually really storyboarded on. I've done some revisions on other shows in the past, but mostly my career in the animation industry has been as an animator.
Right.
So kind of a few departments down the way where I'm actually looking at the storyboard, listening to the audio track, and giving a layout, and I'm animating, making the things move, and doing the acting and stuff according to that. So My Little Pony was kind of my first experience doing that. So it's kind of hard to compare because I don't have a lot of experience storyboarding for other shows. But I do have to say, I can't imagine a lot of other shows encouraging as much creative input from the storyboard artists compared to other shows that I've worked on and stuff like that. So it's really fun that way. I have to say, like, sometimes what's really fun is it's fun and also a waste of time. But in those storyboard meetings where we go over the script before we even start the storyboard, is we will talk through the script and we'll just kind of converse and just almost like verbal diarrhea, just get out all of our ideas, no matter how crazy they are. They'll be ridiculous and so extreme, just to kind of get that out of our system, just to be really goofy. We'll make jokes and at the script's expense sometimes, but we always know just to get that out of our system. But every once in a while, even though a lot of that's just throwaway, every once in a while there will be a little spark of an idea that we're like, oh, you know what, that would be pretty funny if we that in. And a lot of that, and sometimes when stuff like that happens, you get the little golden nuggets that a lot of the fans seem to catch on to.
All right, that's cool. You brought up the other shows that you worked on. So just going off of the IMDb for you, sir. We have an episode of Atomic Berry. You worked in George of the Jungle, which, if I'm correct, Jason worked on as well, I believe.
Who did?
I believe Jason Thiessen worked on George in the Jungle. Yeah,
he did for sure. Yeah, he was my animation director.
There you go. And then you were animation director for Kid versus Cat. So.
I was kind of in charge of post-production or post-revisions kind of thing, where I worked alongside with James Wooten. And it was Atomic Berry was the first show I worked on. And that was with Atomic Cartoons. And then, not quite Atomic Berry. And then I've worked on, Puka and George of the Jungle, Kid versus Cat, several other shows for Studio B. And then I went into CG shows. The League of Super Evil I worked on, I animated on that show, as well as Rated A for Awesome, and from there I jumped on to My Little Pony. Yes, so I've had the other. I worked on the other end of the spectrum of the animation, where it's kind of before it goes on TV. I've done the last little chunk of it, where just before it goes to editing, I'm doing all the animation that has been informed by the storyboard. So it's kind of neat. I've had a view from both sides of the looking glass, so to speak.
All right, that's cool. So you've seen, and that seems like a really good utility from what it sounded like, listening to some of the information I've seen from like the Phineas and Ferb team, where, having the ability to say like, yeah, I can storyboard, moving from animation to storyboard gives you a lot of flexibility, as long as you have those skill sets. Especially
because I know as an animator what is feasible, what the limitations and what you would expect, you hope to expect from a storyboard kind of thing. So I can inform that side of me into, as I'm doing a storyboard, thinking like, what, this would not be doable in a flash show, or trying to be as economic as possible. Also saying like, what, this would be great if this would be a great scene for an animator to get a chance to work on.
All right, that's cool. Now you have worked. I'm pulling up the. You do have a Wikipedia article as well, just so you know.
Really?
Well, you've got an article. You've got an article over at the Friendship is Magic wiki. Which we actually do have, that has you credited for both May the Best Pet Win, Hearth's Warming Eve, and Putting Your Hoof Down.
Yeah.
So we got you for those three. Which one of those do you think was probably, is there any of those three particular that you probably would say that you enjoyed? There was any particular parts you enjoyed the most storyboarding, or was there anything that you that was particularly interesting to lay out for those shows?
Those all three of those shows had some pretty fun moments to them. It was intimidating because that was my first. May the Best Pet Win was my first real submerging into the world of My Little Pony, and I was hired on as a junior storyboard artist at that point, and my kind of was paired up with my senior storyboard artist, was Joel Dickey, and he's the guy that boarded the whole song and most of the chase at the end of that episode. So you can tell that guy's pretty slick. But I got to do the sequence where she's basically doing tryouts with all the animals, where Rainbow Dash is doing all the tryouts with all the animals, putting them through tests, and then doing that talent show at the end. It was kind of fun because I realized I was able to slip in some pretty fun little gags, like the bat playing, the wine glasses upside down. And just stuff like that was I just added in there on my own. And when I realized, they encourage this kind of thing, then I got to go a little more nuts. And in later episodes on Hearthwarming Eve, that show, I ended up boarding almost half of that one. And so that really just dunked me into full throttle into the into the whole system there, because I took on so much of that episode, and it was pretty exciting because I like that one in that it's pretty neat how the mythology is explained, I guess, of what Equestria is like and how it came to be, sort of. I don't know what kind of critical response it got from the Brony verse out there.
We love history.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's kind of at expectations, or everyone, oh well, geez, they kind of phoned that one in. Or if it's like, whoa, that explains everything.
That particular episode kind of got a bit of a mixed review, because people are like, wait a minute, what about Celestia and Luna? Where do they fit in this?
Where's my head cannon? Oh no.
Well, it was just one of those things. It was a good episode because, hey, there's a backstory to this.
I guess it's kind of like maybe it's Old Testament to New Testament. Maybe all that stuff was so ancient.
Yeah, that's what you do is you just expand upon it. It's like, no, so they went away for a while, so it was just the three tribes themselves, and then they were handling them, and then they came back. It's just that's the way that headcanon goes, of just like, we gotta incorporate this now.
And I mean, it's also too, I'm sure it's in the writers' room and producers and Hasbro looking on it. Okay, we got to keep this Christmas episode as unchristmassy as possible, but still suggest as much. So it's like, okay, we keep this secular, but we still got to have all the themes that make something magical and spiritual. But so what comes out of that is it's the writers and creators are coming up with what you end up seeing, and it becomes its own strange mythology. That giant flaming heart at the very end, I guess.
Yeah.
The thing I do enjoy actually a lot from it, and I'm this actually would come into a neat kind of piece. The differences between like the kind of the royal look of like Rarity in that, the more kind of humble and like basic stuff for Applejack and Pinky, and then just kind of this Spartan wear for Dash and Fluttershy. Like, did that come out of the writing stage, or was that just like, we need to make these three particular groups like iconic in their own way?
I think that I don't really know, but I imagine that kind of stuff, it was kind of established in that up in the Pegasus world, they have those Corinthian columns and Spartanists and the armor and all that kind of stuff. So I think it kind of, and then it must have kind of been gleaned to hit that direction anyway. But I guess you'd have to ask the designers, because how much those guys made up on the spot, or if they were told, okay, this is the direction we're going to go with all these kind of things, because it's very anachronistic.
Yeah, Sandy, get one of the designers on here.
Okay, well, I'm
get on that.
Have you guys talked much to people on designing or animators and stuff like that?
Not as much.
Really.
We're trying. It is a little bit just to try and get everything set to get everybody on the show. But we totally want to get. I particularly appreciate the the actual like what you guys do on the animation side, because you know the VAs are awesome because they bring the voices to life, but you guys go in and do a beyond 9 to 5 job to make the actual show itself. So you know I find that the process of making it all far more in depth and interesting. So I would love to have some more of those guys on,
because it's interesting. It's kind of sad in a way in that there's so many people that work on the show that I don't know what's going on in the layout department. I don't know what's happening in the After Effects, post-production stuff and the editing. I mean, there's different rooms. There's so many people and I'm so kind of like, head in the sand trying to get my own end of the, playing my cog in the machine, that it's kind of strange how it all ends up coming together at the very end, looking like it's a big unified product. Whereas here I'm admitting that I don't even know what the designers came up with compared to what was told to them by the writers, kind of thing. But it's a testament to the kind of the system that's been made for My Little Pony, that I think that Jason and Woody and had got their fingers dipped into all the departments so much that they're keeping it all adhered together, and and of course it all got passed by Lauren throughout the first season to make sure it all is copacetic and meeting a certain standard. So that's been pretty interesting, because I've worked on projects in the past that are just a maelstrom of nonsense for children, and then the product gets on TV and I'm like, oh, I guess that's what that looks like. But it's pretty neat seeing how a lot of my ideas in doodle stage actually got executed pretty accurately by the end of it.
Yeah, I've actually heard similar things from one of our other animator friends, or he more works as a builder, and he actually asked me, it's just like, so did my show ever go to air? I don't know. It's like, it actually went, its first episode launched 3 weeks ago. Oh, okay, cool.
Did you talk to, was it
Dennis, yeah.
D-Rock?
What was that?
D-Rocco?
Yeah, D-Rocco, yeah.
Meet this guy who talk like this.
Oh, yeah.
Dennis who? Yeah.
Oh, he is awesome. Yeah, we love him so much.
I went to school with Emmett. Me and Emmett were in the same graduating class.
Dennis and I go way back. We were in the same animation class together back at Capilano College.
Oh,
And yeah.
You got Starry going.
Actually, tomorrow night, Dennis Hu and I are going to go see Iron Maiden together here in Vancouver.
Oh, wow, nice. Tell him I said hey.
I will, absolutely.
We need to get him back on the show. He's a great friend of the show. We love having him on. So that's.
So, this is shifting out a bit more. So you do Pony, you do lots of Pony, you do the storyboarding, and that's really cool. So you also do this comedy stuff, because this is what you wanted to talk about a lot on the show. So why don't we? We talked about the Pony. Let's talk about the comedy. Let's talk about this Sunday service.
Sure.
What is it?
And I'll try and tie it in with Pony somehow or other.
Oh, okay, all right. And then you are welcome to ask questions of us or whatever at the end. But yes, so I've heard you on podcasts, and I have seen pictures of you dressed up in funny clothes. So I'm
a whole bit. I mean, well, it's interesting. Like my my secondary alternative career that doesn't make any money in comedy. Like it steps way back in that through the comedy scene here, I actually know several people involved with My Little Pony just by association. Like Peter New, I knew before I had any involvement with My Little Pony, and he does the voice of Big Mac, amongst other additional characters. Ashley Ball, she really likes the Sunday service. She's seen us many times, and I've chatted with her even before I knew that she was involved with My Little Pony. And hilariously enough, I think she used to be involved with a summer camp with another storyboard artist, where they would perform sketches. Justin Nichols, who was a storyboard artist on season 2 and 3, he used to be a camp counselor, I think, back when he was a teenager, and with Ashley Ball, and then let's see, even my dad, who's an actor. Like, I grew up in a theater community. My dad has actually auditioned for My Little Pony, just as I was, not due to my nepotism or whatsoever, but just so happens that through his agent here in Vancouver, he got a shot at doing a character.
On this version or on the previous ones?
No, on the second season of Friendship as Magic. Can't remember the character. It was the episode where Rarity, I think she goes to the big city on the type of pony every pony should know.
Oh, yes. Yep, gotcha.
And there's some real snoopy guy.
It's either Fancy Pants or the mean ones. It's either Fancy Pants or one of the mean characters. I'm not sure.
I think it was Fancy Pants. Who was sort of talking like
yes.
this guy.
Oh, you're dead on.
Rarity, yeah, that kind of thing. So, yeah, so
I had that.
So the community,
Rarity,
community
you
here,
and your redneck friends.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, totally. So I'm just saying that the community here, the comedy community and music community, and then entertainment community, all kind of intersects here, and that because Vancouver's, it's a city, but it's still small enough that things kind of just blend into one another. Even some of the guys in my improv sketch group called the Sunday Service have auditioned, not for My Little Pony, but for some other DHX Studio B shows and stuff like that recently. But I've been with the Sunday Service. Is it's improv comedy we do, so it's all kind of made up on the spot. And the reason why it's called the Sunday Service is because we've been performing every Sunday at a location called the Cosmic Zoo, previously the Hennessy Dining Lounge, and that's a place. It's a restaurant in Vancouver, and we've been doing a show there every Sunday for the past 5 years, and it's been selling out. So we've established quite a little legacy, a little fan base of our own, and then just in the past year, we thought we'll delve into the podcast medium, and I took up the mantle on that one, just because as on stage, I'll get on stage every once in a while, but a lot of times I'm the guy on the piano. I'm providing musical scores for the live improv, and then but I also act and perform on my own. And when the opportunity to do these podcasts came up, I thought, I'm gonna just exploit myself on this, and I ended up buying the equipment and getting into all the editing and production and doing all the music is composed and original by me, and I actually, to tie it back to animation, I have to say that the improvisational and comedy and storytelling skills that I've learned through comedy, as well as all the music capabilities I've had, that really informs the way animation works, because animation is all it's all timing and rhythm, and it's storytelling. So you're a lot of times when you're animating something, you're following the music of the dialogue, so to speak, and you're trying to accentuate certain things. So I have to say that that's why animation kind of intrigued me at the very beginning, was because it was a way to incorporate so much of the things that I liked so much in terms of telling jokes and music and and storytelling, basically. So anyway, in addition to doing all these animation since, I guess, I graduated 2003, that was my daytime job. I really got into comedy and started investing myself into the comedy scene. And actually right now, with, I guess, tomorrow night at midnight is the cutoff time. The Sunday Service is nominated for 6 Canadian Comedy Awards. So we're trying to do a big push to get voters to vote for. I know that you need to be part of the industry to vote for things like Best Improv Troupe, which we're nominated for, as well as Best Male Improviser and Best Female Improviser, which are some of the members. But the public can vote for Best Podcast, where a beautiful podcast, the Sunday Service presents a beautiful podcast, has been nominated, as well as we have a web clip on YouTube called Acting Real, which is kind of like a funny instructional video. That's also been nominated. And the Canadian public can actually vote for those. So if you go to canadiancomedy.ca and you register as a public voter, you have to be Canadian. And, you know, I encourage you to watch or listen to our podcast before, or you know, complete nepotism is involved in voting for us. But yeah, there's another day and a half to kind of convince yourself that that we're worth voting for, and we're trying to bring home a win to Vancouver because Toronto usually seems to snap up most of the awards every year. So we're really trying to do a big major PR push. So you can check us out at thesundayservice.ca, or you can go on iTunes and find The Sunday Service Presents a Beautiful Podcast. Also, our good friends, Stop Podcasting Yourself from Vancouver. Those guys are on the Maximum Fun, kind of like podcast network down in the States, but they're based out of Vancouver. They've been nominated as well. Good friends of ours, and we've been on that show a bunch. So if you don't like us, you can vote for those guys. I guess that's my pitch. That's my plug.
That's fine.
You know.
Actually, I'll throw something else in there. I'm also going to link across your iTunes, Apple, how to subscribe to the Sunday Service podcast. So I put that just there in the chat. The Sunday Service presents. Right now, you are at. Let me pull up the page because I just had it.
I guess this is American.
Yeah, that is the American. I'll have to check the Canadian. I'll check both of them. But on the U.S. side, you've got 46 ratings, 5 stars listed inside of there. So I'll do this. I'll do this for the Canadian side as well. But if you leave a review on either the American or the Canadian for the Sunday Service, if you like it, leave a review, leave a written review for the Sunday Service if you enjoyed it. And I'll go ahead and throw in a set of Bronyville buttons randomly for one of the people that writes a review.
Oh, great. I will. That's awesome. I'll say too, you know, the Canadian Comedy Awards aside, any of you guys, if you just listen to the podcast, that's, if we get any new listeners, that's thanks enough, because yeah, I'd assume if you guys like My Little Pony, I've got some of my humor thrown in there, so you might dig some of the same jokes. I mean, it's, you know, granted, it's there's some explicit content, so you know.
Yes.
Sensitive ears.
I think we're all adults here.
Yeah, I'd assume so much, but yeah, and it's a different style of podcast too. It's I know it's kind of in the vein of, I don't know, Monty Python or Mr. Show, but what's interesting is it's improvised, and then the improvisations are taken and I edit them down and add sound effects and music, similar to the Super Ego podcast. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but yeah. But let's talk pony. That's enough.
We can. We have done that. So yes, that is. Yep. So check that out, because as I said, it actually is a really good podcast, and I am a little snooty when it comes to which one I pick. So yes, go subscribe to that. Let's turn this around back to it. Do you have any questions for us or our community out there?
I was trying to get a gauge of. I know it's international, but I was wondering if there's one country or several countries more than another that seem to really dig it, because every time I've heard podcasts or gone on websites and stuff, it seems to be like from all over the place. I mean, whether it be from South America or Germany, I'm wondering if there's a certain country that really digs it more than another.
Well, we use a podcast service called PodTrack that gives us information on us that will let us know who's downloading what from where. So I'm going to log in.
And I'm logging in too, and I'm going to take a picture so I can show everyone.
Hey, we're up.
Woohoo! It's good to be up. All right, I'll take a little picture of this, that way everybody on the stream. But it is predominantly United States.
Okay.
64% of our downloads come from the United States.
Yeah. So it's US, UK, Canada, and Australia. They're the top 4. But then we've got Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Finland, Netherlands, unknown, which is where they just can't get beat. Singapore gets 2,000. Mexico, and this is for... Okay, so that's the same if you go by month. Singapore, Mexico, Philippines, New Zealand, Ireland, Malaysia, Japan, Saudi Arabia got 1,200 downloads from there. Brazil, European Union, Poland, the UAE, China, Switzerland, and 393 for other countries. So
and that's for your guys' podcast specifically.
Just
right?
our show, yeah.
Right. And then from what you guys have gleaned from chat rooms and websites and things like that, and where all the fan fiction and the fan art stuff like that, it's predominantly the States, as far as you can tell.
I would say predominantly in the U.S., definitely in the English-speaking world, but there are still as we've noted here, we've got Malaysia. There's a there's a pony podcast called the MBS Show, which is the Malaysian Brony Society, and they do a show out in Malaysia. And I'm sure there are Chinese fans of My Little Pony. I know there's Japanese fans of My Little Pony. Yeah. The Saudi Arabian ones are most likely U.S. service members out there. On bases.
Yeah, that's interesting. We've had some fan mail sent to us from the Middle East. As a matter of fact, it's pretty wild.
So
we've got all of those. Yeah, we've actually got one person that comes in by stormy seas. He's actually out on a carrier, just somewhere in the Pacific at all times, and he just goes to ports and picks up the shows.
Wow,
yeah,
that's amazing. I guess I was going to also ask, did you guys have this level of obsession with other shows or books or types of things? Before Pony came along, was there other communities that you guys kind
Stop laughing! Stop giving it away. I did have some. Yeah. Stop it! Oh, Starry. Yes.
Don't talk about it.
No, it's fine.
Whatever.
No. It's fine. Starry. No. I used to be a massive fan of Sega and the whole Sonic stuff. So I was in that particular wheelhouse, and it was fine. But that particular community and the stuff that is based off of became so caustic that after a while I was like, no, get out of this. So it became a point where it's just like, okay, this, there's this new thing. It sounds really cool. I'm going to check it out. Oh, hey, I really like this. Let me dump this other thing that is a bad habit. So,
as for me, my interests are pretty far and wide. And ponies it was a new thing to me. So it's like, hey, I'm a longtime animation fan. I love watching cartoons. I love anime, and this, I was a big fan of Foster's Home for Imaginary.
Okay.
I watched Powerpuff Girls some when I was a kid, and so the pedigree of the show definitely got me into it. And it really was the community that drove my interest initially, because it was not only a cute show with songs, and because the first episode I watched was episode 4, Applebuck season, when there's a bunch of physical comedy, and Applejack is completely worn out and being her prideful, stubborn self. And I thought it was pretty funny. And then I kept watching. But the community that just sprung up, the art and the music and the stories that people have written, people grabbed the idea and just ran with it. That's why I was so enamored with the community to start with.
Mm-hmm. It became one of these points where they would mention something so offhanded on the show and the community would just jump up and have to know about it. In one of the episodes they mentioned a city called Philadelphia, and just as what is it like? What are people like there? Where is it located? The anything that gets thrown in just becomes part of a whole collection of stuff. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, because I was wondering if it was, how many people have you guys met or know about that of, it was kind of like the mutant gene in them, where it just kind of, I didn't know I had this in me until, until My Little Pony arrived there. Or was it always, most of the time it's just been transferred from one.
I would
community to
say
another?
there are a lot of people out there that never would that are of the. If you had told me I would be so into this cartoon show a year ago, I'd have laughed at you. You know?
Right.
That's a real common thread where people just, you know, they play their violent movies, their violent games, they watch their gory movies, but then they find something really cute and really clean and really sincere that is like the complete opposite of what they normally consume, and it's like a breath of fresh air. You know, it's and the fact that it's not, you know, gross out humor, cruel humor, anything like that is refreshing to a lot of people who are used to the everyday cynicism of the internet and life in general, you know. So that's why I think a lot of it is it's so weirdly prevalent that you can watch this show, it's cute and it's happy, and you're not, you know, it's like it's not Pinky's doing these mean pranks to Fluttershy because she's a jerk. You know, that doesn't happen.
Right.
You know, they're cute characters doing cute things, and they're not being jerks to each other.
Yeah, everything has some sense and has a purpose to it. And it's also just kind of what Sandy was saying. It allowed, like, it took a place like 4chan and made it at least a little bit nice, which is almost just like, wait, they did what? Like, yeah, people are on there and they're talking about the show and how much they like it and they're having a good time and everything. Like, this is 4chan. What?
Well, it's like putting, it's like the hippies putting flowers into the guns of riot police. Mm-hmm. Strange reference.
No. I totally got it. I totally got it. No, that's it's something like that. It's just like all the like evil and vitriol of that place, and then like that spawns that, and then when they leave, they make Pony Chan, and it's just this weird, just like, you know, just to kind of add in an interesting little point. It's one of the things that Conan O'Brien said is just like, there's so much cynicism in the world. Just don't be a cynic. Just stop it. You know, it's such a poisonous thing.
Do you guys ever get concerned or ever potentially see it happening where the community like transcends the show too much, in that the show can't keep up in terms of content or product, and the community just keeps kind of like, because it's constantly growing and it's evolving into its own thing, and I mean it's. Do you think that the show could potentially get lost into itself, kind of thing? I mean, that's
I don't think so. Well, I know what you're talking about, though, but I don't think that's really possible.
It's when headcanon gets out of control. That's pretty much what it is. It's when this is my expectation. My expectation was not met. Raw.
Yeah, that's like when the character
happening more and more, or is there enough of everyone kind of like.
You know, it happened a bit with the last roundup. Bit
with the gray pony.
Yes, the nameless gray pony, and it happened a little bit again with the introduction of the DJ pony in the final episode of season 2, when she lifts up her goggles and shows her eyes, and the fact that her eye color was not red as had been popular in the fan arts people drawn. There was a lot of people upset at that.
It was magenta,
and so that's kind of an incidence of what you're talking about. But I don't see it being like a game breaker, because the people that do that, I would say, are more the fringy types. I would at least hope so, because even though, you know, the pony community does skew a little bit older in some areas. But for a lot of people, this is their first community, their first fandom. So you are going to get some kids. I say kids for pretty much anybody under 21 anymore. I feel so old. You know.
If you can't go to a bar, you're a child.
And it's like, some people really put a lot of investment into what they think, and when the actual show doesn't meet their expectations, they can get loud and noisy, but it's ultimately what it is. It's just people being noisy. And I don't think that there's ever going to be a point where people start like arguing against the stuff that happens on the show.
No, it always tell you what, the good case in point was the Hearthwarming Eve, where it was like people had these ideas of like, all right, this has happened here, Celestia Luna, da da da, and then this new thing comes in like, no, 3 tribes, da da da. Everybody has to kind of go, huh, but okay, we can make this work.
Yeah.
Like, it just requires a change of expectation. So the show, no matter what, is God. It is canon. It is going to be the one true word. And then anything else just kind of has to adapt to it. And we've seen it in the past where people have written things and it's just kind of been like, but this explains it differently, so there's a little bit of rewrites. And it's just something, it happens in every, like, I guarantee you there's not one person who ever wrote like Harry Potter fanfic that didn't go, oh God, this new book just breaks everything.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You have to say that there
And
were a lot of people really upset that at the end of the book series there are canon pairings because these two people go off, hook up, and have kids, and that's the next cycle at Hogwarts. You know, that the fact that Rowling did that made people so mad. Oh my god!
I don't even know who Harry Potter is. Who is that?
But it's well, it's also kind of like the Avatar: The Last Airbender was a really good series, and they did a
What's
continuation series, Legend of Korra, which is the follow-up. And at the end of that series, you know, there's a time skip to the second series, and there's, oh my gosh, these canon pairings. Oh, you know, the creators of the show said this specific thing did happen. Your fanon is destroyed.
Do you guys ever feel like, because you're in a way you're with the podcast and the conventions and stuff like that, you're kind of spokespeople for the community. Do you ever, is it intimidating trying to potentially corral it, or do you feel like you have an obligation, or you would say like, you know what, this is not our place? Have you set rules for yourself, like the Dark Knight?
I'll be honest.
Stop
a lot
me,
of
Sandy.
For me personally, you know, we are a very public face for the community in a lot of ways, and we have a lot of people that follow us on Twitter, and it's a lot of reaction, and so we kind of have to watch what we say, and because, you know, little things can make big ripples, and we want to be ambassadors to the to people not in the community. You know, one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is that we have a very high iTunes rank. You can usually find us on the front page of the television and entertainment podcasts on the American iTunes Store, which means that any random person browsing the store has a good chance of finding us. And so we try to make this show as accessible as possible to people who are not in the pony community, so that they might be interested and come watch a show with us and get involved in the community. And maybe this person had no clue that it existed, which is kind of hard nowadays to not see ponies on the internet, but that this random person could find us, this show, and be intrigued enough to come check it out. You know, so there is a pressure there.
And do you feel, has it's been around, the whole Brony thing has been around long enough? I kind of all the negative response from the outside world, is that, is it still nagging at you, or is it kind of, no pun intended, I'm sorry?
Well, no. Professional or like people on the internet?
Well, I don't know about professional, but I guess just, well, the internet, or just the social world out there, the pop culture world. Have they kind of gotten over it, or are they still baffled? Or because I just remember there was just constant things on radio or on the internet just having to discuss it, and the amount of theses and essays and things kind of, I wonder if has it exhausted itself, and has it now become, well, is it,
well,
you guys beat
it's
all
one
that?
of those things that we've been around for a couple of years now, and it's no longer, oh my gosh, look at these random dudes. They're watching My Little Pony. What is this? Because back in the beginning, there was nothing that catered to us, and you were just a outlier community watching a show that was targeted a million miles away from us. And the show still is not, it's still aimed at little kids, but they have stuff targeted to the adult fan community now. The We Love Fine shirts, the iPhone cases, for parents.
The random gray mare.
Yes, they're not going to. People aren't going to give their kid an iPhone 4 and a $40 phone case. That's for adults to purchase for themselves. Because guess what? We have a lot of money that we're going to throw at this, and yeah, like AC said, the unnamed gray mare from the San Diego Comic-Con that that character spawned off of somebody watching episode 1 and noticing this wall-eyed pony in the background and giving her a name and this was off a 4chan like a couple years ago, very start of season 1. The legend of Derpy Hooves begins, and to see that an animation error got made into the San Diego Comic-Con pony, that's a big deal. And there are plenty of people out there that are negative and nasty, and I think it's really important that we really don't give these people any thought. I mean, yeah, there are people that take it too far in the community, just as there are in any community, but the negative Nancys that are like, bunch of creepy, smelly, no-lifers, we're all forever alone, no lives, we have no jobs, we're nothing but fat, smelly nerds. Well, that's not true at all. And there's the internet stereotypes, but the actual reality is that people that are involved in the pony community come from pretty much all walks of life. So
yeah. So, but you're not you've gotten to the point where you don't have to remind yourself of the community of that manifesto. You guys are on that now, I'm assuming, right? That just in that you don't need to keep telling the world that.
I feel at this point that almost we try and do it too much to say that we exist. Like there is a big push for just like a while back, a few months ago, Anthony Bourdain on his show made a comment while he was eating a piece of eating horse somewhere. That is like, sorry, Rainbow Dash, and just the bronies just lost their lits. They were just like, oh, Anthony Bourdain, and then he starts making notes of like, great, now I'm getting people, bronies going at me on Twitter. This is great. I think that there's a little bit of the community is trying, and I actually said this last episode, of trying too hard to try and feel like that they need to exist, like they have to have some sort of like little pin that they can always say, but the guy that does Discord, so we Tire Strong, they all say that it's okay to do this. It's like, just enjoy something because you enjoy it. Don't feel like you have to have some sort of like little pin on your shoulder.
Yeah, you don't need external validation for liking what you like.
But
I had a pretty.
Or go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I had a funny moment. I was in Regina, Saskatchewan, in beginning of June for a comedy festival, and there was another group up from Atlanta, Georgia. Woo. And I was just talking to one of the guys from Atlanta, Georgia, a group called Dad's Garage. Sorry, the Great. I was just talking with another guy saying, what do you do for a living? He works for an advertising firm, and he asked what I did, and I said, I work in cartoons. He said, oh yeah, what cartoon? And I said, My Little Pony. And then he said, look at my shirt. And it was a fan-made Discord shirt. And I went, oh, okay, all right. There you're I've got direct exposure to a brony right in my own personal comedy community, even though it took me going to the middle of my country from the West Coast, and you came all the way up from Atlanta. And then, yeah, we had a pretty genuine discussion about My Little Pony and stuff like that, and he tried to suck out secrets.
We are not going to.
I gave him a Rainbow Dash
no.
sketch, and that shut him up. But
I
encourage anyone to go see I encourage anyone to go see Dad's Garage in Atlanta, Georgia. Those guys are great. And say hi to Ed, who's on stage there often.
Well, it's
Cool.
like,
Guy.
the ponies have sort of infiltrated everywhere. I'm in
like
North
Freemasons.
Texas. Yeah, I'm in North Texas, which you would not think is the most pony-friendly area. But I was driving over to a friend's new place because he finally purchased a house. And on the way there was a car in front of me driven by, I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman, but they had the Horde logo from World of Warcraft, but they also had underneath it a Rainbow Dash Cutie Mark vinyl on their car. And I'm like, it's just out there, and it's like a secret symbol. If you know what it is, you know what it is, and you're like, oh, one of us. But then, otherwise, it's just a cool looking symbol. Because on my previous car, I had an identical mark on my windshield, or on my rear windshield, I guess, rear window on my car. And I would have another one on my car, my current car, but I'm going to get my car tinted, so I have to put it on after the tint. So, I mean, there are those little marks out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the good thing, and this is looping back a little bit, a lot of the criticism, or a lot of the stuff that's going out that's being recorded, on professional sources, I would have to say is about 80% positive opposed to, 20% negative. I mean, the biggest negative thing that happened recently was something on Howard Stern. And that was just the usual, hey, this is Howard Stern. He heard something weird. He's going to say stuff about it.
He's usually not too negative. That's strange.
Yeah, it's just he went to BronyCon and he got people talking about Rule 34 and a whole bunch of other stuff to great, good going. But yeah.
It's pretty simple to go out and interview 30 people and find the one or two things that you want to make this group say. Because, BronyCon had 4,000 people. It's not hard to find, a dozen, 30 people that are going to admit to the thing you're looking to do an expose on,
Yeah. But for the most part, everything is there is a lot of stuff that covers this is look at how many people are here and really enthusiastic. It's full. It's multicultural, multi-gender. Pulling in a lot of the fandom does at times smarten up enough to go, oh, these toys are for little girls. We should actually be not go too crazy and let them have their fun, because this is a secondary market for something. We are not the primary on this.
I was also going to ask, how do you preoccupy yourself between seasons? I mean,
doing the show.
You gotta wait. Doing the show. There's a long wait between.
It really is, and it's during, initially one of the things we did is we started the show because we knew there was going to be a gap between season 1 and season 2, because the show actually started midway through season 1, and we were like, okay, well, there's going to be this gap, and we really like this community and want to see it persist throughout the summer, the long ponyless summer. And so we did, but during the summer it's just, there's people that fade out. There's people that, take breaks. There's no fresh content for us to latch on and, feed. We don't be like, oh gosh, this new episode, let's hyper analyze every frame and try to find Derpy, try to find the little pop culture nods. Did, are Lyra and Bon Bon doing something cute in the background, And so, during the summertime, there's a lot more division, there's a lot more conflict. And that can actually be, and I would say in pretty much any show that has seasons like that has a rabid fan base like this. But largely, a lot of it is the creative people continue to be creative, and it just at a lower. There's still musicians doing music. There's still people writing fan fiction. There's still us doing this show. We haven't missed a week since we started, and except for when we've been out of town at a convention.
And we even had stuff posted then. So
yeah, so it's the getting into a set schedule and finding the news and just putting together. For me, the show community, it relates directly to the show. So it's like I've got to go out there and find the news. I got to go out there and read some fanfic, because I want to have something to recommend. And in doing the show, I keep myself engaged with the community, and in turn, the show during the long summers.
You never need a break. You never.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
We need breaks constantly.
If you guys are doing this every week, that's. And are you doing it new? Like every Saturday is committed to this?
Every Saturday, if we have to move it around, I'll actually just be like, okay, guys, our show's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to do a game of Minecraft. You all can watch me play. So we keep the stream and do something each day. But yeah, we generate at least almost 2 hours of content every week, just so people can. Just so somebody that's sitting in Wisconsin, just like there's nobody around me to talk about ponies, has 2 hours of somebody just rattling on in their brain about it. So I love doing it. I have of all the podcasts I have done, and I'm sure Sandy can actually say this as well, has probably been the most overwhelming reception. And wow, you guys are amazing. Like Tetra in our stream right now, he draws stuff for us every single show. Just randomly, just like you said something, I just made you a picture about it. Like it's just the reaction for the community and what we get back is just phenomenal. It's just amazing, and so I love every single one of our fans, and I really say it, and I mean it with every piece of sincerity, that if it was something where we were doing it, there was maybe somebody emailed like once every 3 months, and it would just be like, this was fun, but it's not as fun, it wouldn't sustain. But the fact that there are people who actually listen in and care what we say, not to be like oh man, I got so much power, but just the fact that there are people who want to talk to us about this, it makes it that much more interesting. Like everyone wants to be involved, and as much as we can, we want to involve those people in the process and in the dialogue, even if it's about a show about little small horses. It's amazing to me.
You know what? I might as well. I should give a shout out to all the fans too, saying that I haven't worked on anything quite like this ever in my life. I mean, this is very much a unique situation anyway. But yeah, it's really fun to be encouraged by a vocal community, and it really pushes us, and we really, and I've never really had to think so much about what I'm doing in terms of how I'm telling a story, or what the expectations are. Sorry,
I just dropped you a little.
Sorry,
no problem. I sent you a little pop up because everybody's like, "Is Emmett taking a look at the chat?" Like they were wondering, just like they're all saying hello to you now.
Okay. Should I go on the?
Yeah, you can just click that. And
I don't know. No, you guys can all hear me. I'm saying hello. I'm saying thank you.
There you go.
And if season 4 rolls around, I'd be happy to take a crack at that one too.
Hey.
I don't know what the situation with that, but I've actually seen a little bit of season 3, and
I'm sure it'll be great.
Seen some of my work put in action. Yeah.
But Tetra is quite the prolific artist, and he's drawn a couple things for you during this episode that'll be uploaded here pretty soon. I'll drop a link to his site, his time, and it's just cute little things that he draws. He's a really good speed artist. And,
he's drawn as we're talking. That's how this is working.
Correct.
Yeah, and
wow.
it's very much appreciated. So yeah, I mean, there's a really solid community, and the people that are jerks, well, they get kind of pushed off to the side usually. And
It is a great community, you know, for the times that we'll sit here and we'll be like, this needs to be better. We need to. I just wish this would change. You know, something will come along and it'll just be like, this is the greatest group ever. That's it. I'm going to go have a happy hug with my girlfriend because this is awesome. You know, it's one of these things of just like. I have never been in a community that has been this like crazy, like this diverse, like this creative. It's odd.
It's really strange too. I'll reiterate how I do just go to work and sit in a room in an isolated little world, just scratching out doodles that'll be interpreted by a whole other department into a final product eventually. So it's very strange to every once in a while get. Shown just the vast expanse of followers and community that is out there. So it is kind of intimidating sometimes, but it's also very exciting. I think my laundry's done, guys.
All right, well that is totally fine. You go get your socks. Go ahead and pimp your stuff one more time, Emmett. That way everybody knows where to track you down and listen to your dulcet tones one more time.
Okay, so go to thesundayservice.ca and you'll find information on our podcast. The Sunday Service presents a beautiful podcast. You can subscribe to that on iTunes. If you want to see us do a live improvised show every Sunday, 9 p.m. at 53 West Broadway. That's in Vancouver. The Cosmic Zoo is the restaurant. It's $5. Let's see what else here. You can vote for us at the Canadian Comedy Awards, canadiancomedy.ca if you're Canadian. And if you want to follow on Twitter, I maintain the podcast Twitter, so that's A Beautiful Pcast. You can find us there. Let's see. Am I supposed to answer who my favorite pony is? Is that the?
Oh, sure. Go for it, because we didn't do that at the front. But if you have a favorite episode and favorite pony, please lay it upon us.
I'll say Pinkie Pie is my favorite.
Good choice.
She can do anything and everything, and when she really does need to be real, she can do it, and it's that much more special when she gets sincere and earnest. It's pretty exciting, and she's the most fun to storyboard and make gags out of. And favorite episode, maybe the one first episode of season 2 is pretty fun, where Twilight gets.
The Discord episodes,
wait a minute,
you mean lesson 0? Lesson 0. There you go.
Yeah, that's the one where she starts tweaking out. Right, she gets obsessed with.
Freaks out and everything goes nuts and the little doll and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that one's great.
Okay, that is super cool. Is that it? Anything else, Emmett? Any other Facebookeries or things?
And
you can join the Sunday Services Facebook group. That's the Sunday Service. Just, I don't know, you'll have to cipher through a bunch of church ones, I guess, until you find ours. I don't know. No, guys, that's about it for me, I think.
Okay.
I hope I answered some questions, and you guys answered some for me, and it's really exciting to be talking to the whole gang out there.
Anytime you or any of your artistic friends like to come on, we'd love to have them.
Emmett, yes, please return. We love you. We love everyone over there at DHX at Studio B. So do not be a stranger. We do appreciate your time that you had with us today, and keep rocking the pony.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care, man. Emmett Hall, everyone.
Yay.
Woo!
Your face when Americans clap.
The internet is clapping. Let's see.
That is it for the topic time. And so we appreciate Emmett coming on. And now we're going to move on to our emails. Email time.
Email part of the show. Wow. How long was that? We had such a good time with him. I'm sure that was like an hour right there. That was awesome.
Here's the mail that never fails. Da, 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 da.
All right.
Here's the mail. Da, da, da.
Now we got to finish up a show.
Yeah, we got a show to finish up. But that's okay. We will read.
I am so sorry, Em. The show is so long. All right, we got email time. You can always send email across to us at bronyville@gmail.com. I will be first, Sandy will be second, and I will be thirds. Because, well, it's just the two of us right now.
It's okay.
Dear Able Cider, Sandy, and the one other girl, and whoever you are interrogation this week, Asim mentioned that the email box was getting lonely, so I decided I would send one in. I have some reminiscing of an event that happened a while back that I would like to bring to light. Do you remember when everybody was freaking out because Lauren Faust was not going to be as prominent of creation in season 2 and eventually stopped working on FIM? How everybody thought that the show would fall apart and die. We were silly, weren't we? I remember more recent podcast where you asked the chat and stated that they said that people would agree that season 2 was phenomenal. Funny how we are wrong sometimes. This was just something fun I just wanted to share with you crazy people in your crazy podcast. But before I end this, I must ask a question. It's unlikely even that Kevin Smith took a liking to MLP, decided to make a podcast. How would you react to that? That is kind of your home turf. Thanks for your time and the sound of your beautiful voices every week. Hearing AC scream, "Oh no!" always makes my day. Sincerely, Elusive Shark. P.S. In the event that someone doesn't have a fic, I'll plug one called The Stranger and Her Friend by the Urban Moose. Is an early Equestria Celestia origin story. Little dark at time, incomplete. Looking for an adventure fic for fun characters. Okay, let's see. So how would we feel if Kevin Smith had a pony podcast?
I'd be like, hey, you need us to talk about ponies, dude. Come on.
Yeah, let us be on your network. We're pretty cool guys.
We'll go join Smodcast.
Yeah, I'll join. You know what? I'll join their network if they really want to. I'll join Kevin Smith. Oh ho, yeah. I mean I'd be fine with that. Whatever. I mean, I could imagine just like, so we're a mostly clean podcast. Like, it's all right, Kevin. It'll be okay. We'll figure it out. I don't know. I think it'd be fine. Yeah. If Kevin decided to do one, I'm certain he would do one much better than us, because that is what that man does now.
He podcasts for a living. He has the life I want. No.
He makes podcasts and doesn't afraid of anything.
Yep.
All right, Sandy, let's move to the next.
All right. First time listener, and I found it a wonderful way to spend 2 hours. There's no name on this email, is there? There it is at the end. You've got quite something going on, and I can't wait to listen to more. However, you mentioned a couple things leading me into writing this email, that you aren't receiving that much mail and that Brony should take a lesser stance of personal approval through others. I agreed with you on the last part for most of the show. As Bronies, we shouldn't seek out celebrities to use as a shield to haters. As soon as you use the same advice towards the person asking about spreading of the fandom, I started to disagree. I'm going to write about this solely for my own opinion. I'm sure there are others out there who feel differently and don't mean to represent anyone but myself. I try to get other people in MLP for a reason I really can't explain. I don't know if anyone can, but I'd love to see someone try. It's just this idea of passion and excitement towards the show, and it pushes so much of the community along. It's what makes up everything that we, as a community, produce. Why would you three be making podcasts if it weren't for that very feeling? Problem is, not everyone wants to make podcasts or music or art. A simple output for all that pent-up energy is through sharing it with others. More so than just sheer excitement, though, is the fact that I want other people to see the show, experience the community, enjoy the things I take part in every single day. It's a wonderful fandom, and I feel that it's not nearly enough people have experienced something like it before. I try to get people into the community, not because I'm afraid of what they'll think if I don't, but because I care for both them and the community. I know that 20 years from now, I will look back on these days and there will be a massive blip, a marker that says, this was when you started liking MLP. I want to share that blip with as many people as I can. Just as a note, I'm not overzealous. I have hater friends, and I don't bother them about it. In fact, I hardly try to convert people. These are my opinions, but sometimes they go through a bit of a Fluttershy filter before leaving my mouth. Not much comes out most of the time. But that aside, I really enjoyed your show. I absolutely loved hearing about the German side of the community, as well as the situation of the pirate party from a German resident. Apparently, they've been branded with the neo-Nazi stigma for no real reason, and it's hurting their standing in the public. I actually had a chance to question a German exchange student about visiting for a couple months during my German class, and she actually responded with exactly that. I'm glad you had guests that knew more about the pirate party than the student, although I hardly falter for it. It was wonderful to hear from the two of them, and I cannot wait to hear more, possibly next year. Doucheland made me cringe pretty hard, though.
I can't say things.
Fantastic show, and I'll be sure to tune in from now on. Thanks, Patrick Voth. P.S. I guess it's the norm to stick a little bit about ponies on the end, so here's this. Twilight's best pony, no question about it.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with your reasoning about sharing the community. It's just doing time and place, you know?
Yeah.
Time and place.
No problem pulling in people that you think would enjoy it. But I think my main thing is I have this person that does not like ponies. I wish to make them like ponies. How do I make them like ponies?
Okay, so actually, hey, I've got a story.
Hey,
from yesterday.
all right, Sandy, you have a story? What's your
I have
story?
a story. Let's have a story. Story time.
Let's hear story time. All right,
So-
story time with Chef Sandy. He is our podcast storyteller. So historian and storyteller, Chef Sandy.
Yep, and news pony.
And news
So yesterday, right, I went and spent a bunch of money on My Little Pony product at Toys R Us, and the person that was stocking the toy was a young woman, probably about 20-ish, 25, and didn't look like that was not your stereotypical girly girl at all. And I, give not a single flying feather as to going and purchasing product. So I walk up and I'm picking out the items, and I just ask her, hey, do you have any more of these in the back? And ask her to scan them. They didn't have any more in the back, but she's like, so are you a collector? Do you watch this show? And I was like, yeah, I really do. It's a really cute show. And then I did the whole, did you ever watch Foster's? And she was like, yeah, I like that quite a bit. It's like, well, this is a show that is originally done by the same woman, and it's just a very cute, happy show, sort of in the same vein. And she's like, oh. And I was like, and there's a big community for it online. It's all on YouTube. You should probably, and you could check it out there if you'd like. It's like, oh, I might do that. And that was a contextually correct time to do that. She asked me if I was a collector. Well, technically I am, but I'm also a fan of the show. And like, if this person liked this, she might like that. And, hopefully, she'll check it out and like it. And if she doesn't, well, she at least gave it a shot. So
I will give the counterpoint. The raw. So we will do the gallant. What was it? The gallant and the
Goofus.
The Goofus. So I will be the Goofus. Believe it or not, I am going to be the person that will find somebody that they do not like, that I know does not like ponies, and I will put ponies around his desk.
Yeah. So I'm the gallant, and Aces, as always, is the Goofus.
Yes. Or, it's just the type of just like, I don't like this show. I don't think I will like it. And then you have them hang out at your house and be like, we are watching ponies now. I didn't do that. But I also did do the, hi, I'm strategically hiding ponies all across your desk so that when you open this book,
there's a
little pony there.
Yeah. But that's because you're tweaking somebody who's kind of a jerk to you.
Yes, so that is true.
That's a little bit different because he's a coworker and not somebody random on the street.
Yes.
You're not walking up to people and sticking little foldable pocket ponies in their pockets.
Yes, it's one of those that just I don't get the like like anytime like the one of the things that irks me the most is the like singing in public, like the getting the big group and be like, hey, this thing wouldn't wrap up. I'm just like, I'm ducking out of here now.
Don't do that, kids.
Oh god, that is uncomfortable city, because it's just like, why are these weirdos making a scene and singing? It's weird. Like that's the one thing I'm just like,
yeah, that's like the one thing that I just don't tolerate at my meetups. I'm like, cut that out.
You just go Cosgrove. Hey, cut it out. All right, that works. Yeah, that there's nothing wrong with wanting to get more people into pony. Matter of fact, I would advocate it, but just make sure that you do it the right way, sons. Important. All right, my next one. Hello to all of you fine folks in Bronyville. This past weekend, I went to a tribal casino with my grandparents. Apparently, they renovated a few months back, and I wanted to check it out anyway. I only play slots and decided to put in a few bucks in the machine. A few minutes pass, and I'm already down to my last spin. I look down at my pony shirt and say, "Come on, AJ, let's kick some flank." I spin my last spin, get the scatter bonus and the free spin bonus, and walk away with some extra money in my pocket. You'll never guess what I'll spend it on. This has made me think, and I want to give you guys a question. Do any of you have a favorite pony item, hat, shirt, blind bag, toy, etc., that you carry with you as a good luck charm of sorts? Not specifically casinos, but with other things like video games or just everyday life in general. Hope all is well, everyone, and I'll see you cool ponies soon. Warm regards, Bunky Boney.
Not really. I wear my derpy hat around because it's like the one hat I own. And it's just sort of an incidental, hey, look, this person is wearing a pony thing in public. And I'm sure that there are other people that are like, that would love to be like, oh my God, where'd you get your hat? And, don't. It's I guess it's a personal security. It's like, I don't really care what other people think. As for, little pocket ponies thing, I don't really try to carry a lot of stuff in my pockets. But if I did, I have like 4 Rainbow Dash blind bags. Actually 5 Rainbow Dash blind bags.
Do you like Rainbow Dash? I'm trying to pick up something.
I like Rainbow Dash quite a bit. But
okay.
Well, it's kind of funny because the first one I got was from the original 5 that had showed up at Big Lots way back in the day. And the second one came from the big sets that they sold. And then 2 further ones, the glitter one and another one, came out of the single box of blind bags I found in the wild. And then a Rosedale set, which I purchased yesterday, has a Rainbow Dash. So I am wealthy in Rainbow Dashes. I have many, many best Pegasus.
Your Pegasi floweth over.
Yes.
And Panzer has a Rainbow Dash tattoo, so I think he beat you. Just a little bit. Distances of magnitude. I don't have. I mean, if anything I have is going to be a lucky charm, it's my frigging Magneto shirt. Magneto. It's ridiculous, and I enjoy wearing it because 1, it is comfy, and 2, it is cool as heck. I don't keep anything around. Just as a general question, Sandy, do you have any lucky charms? Like anything that you keep with you as a lucky charm? Because I, in fact, do. And I will pull it out right now.
I don't really. I mean, I don't have any one thing that I keep with me.
Sandy is asking Panzer if that big thing is on your calf. That his massive tattoo.
Oh, actually, I do actually have a thing.
Yes, it is. I have. Okay, so what I have, I really got into podcasts a while back with the One Up podcast that they had, because that was my first kind of introduction to them, and I really enjoyed them. And about 2 years ago, when I was first making my move over here, or trying to make a move over to the San Francisco Bay Area, I stopped by, went to the One Up offices, and met Sam Kennedy of One Up, then of UGO Entertainment, and now of IGN, or at least, now that's where One Up is. I'm not entirely sure about him, but I have a business card of his, and I keep it with me because I think it's just kind of one of those things of just like, here is someone doing something that is cool and interesting and awesome, and I respect that and think that is good, and I just kind of keep that with me to look down and go, you know what? At some point, I could have a business card that is that awesome, and give it to people. No, it's my business card. You can't have it, Starry.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? That's right here. Hold on. It's got a cell phone number on it too, which is the worst part. So that's my little. Yeah, it's a neat little business card. I really liked it. And yes, I'm sorry that they did kill EGM, but that was just because of that was Ziff Davis stuff, it sounds like. So, what about you, Sandy?
What?
Did you have any? I didn't know if you were looking for a Lucky Charm.
Oh no, I have people's business cards, but I don't have like anything that I super hold on to. I have like little mementos in my thing, but they're not like, oh, this is a. I mean, I have business cards from BronyCon January. I have a couple of like crafter people that have given me their cards.
I've got my old like IDs from college.
Yeah.
This is now Clean Your Wallet cast.
It's
I am
like,
your host.
what's in my wallet? I have a bank statement that's really out of date and some cash.
A mint. This is the most delicious journey into my wallet ever. All right, let's see. Go ahead and move on. What we got there, Sanderson?
Moving on. Hey, let's take a look. Good day, everybody, and every pony in the Bronyville world. I love this community. The main reason is that I think this group of silly people watching cartoon colorful horses works because everybody, staff included, is a fan of the show and can do come together as such. A good example is early this week, M.A. Larson, who is a funny dude, and Full Papers joking on Twitter with each other, not as creator and consumer, but as fans. That kind of thing makes the Brony community special, something that is rare in most communities, and that's why I love this group. Other stuff, my favorite episode is Candlelight Wedding. Favorite episodes are tied between Pinkie Pie, because Pinkie Pie and DJ Pone 3, because when she has appeared on screen, she was having a good time and she looks awesome. Probably the coolest looking character on the show. Keep up the awesome work, all of you. Maven Crash. So yeah, I did see that earlier in the week. It is really cool, and it's like we had Emmett on. We have the show people talking to the fans all day, every day. Amy Kenny Rogers, Megan McCarthy, all those folks, talking. They have pony icons. They're talking to their fans. Tara Strong, Queen of the Bronies. She has found herself a group of fans that will dance when she says to. She pulls the strings, dance, puppet dance, and we will do so. So it's that with her, it's more the producer and fan, but even then, it's very cool how this community is so connected with the people that do the show.
Yeah, it's probably one of the defining features. I mean, the rabid fan community, and then just the interaction with the studio. I think that was probably one of the other like really crazy bits was the fact that there. I think at the very beginning it was just like, hey, Lauren Faust is actually responding to us. That's crazy. All right, that's really cool. And then like the Studio B team finally started getting into it. You have people like Sibsy and Raven and Jason all reaching out to us and being more than welcome to be like, yeah, this is the process. We love doing it, and this is we're super glad that we're doing this, and that there's so many cartoons that are out there that either just fail or go on for a while but never get a big reception, and they've had the benefit of actually getting a fan following regardless of how insane we are sometimes. So
yep.
We love us. All right, let's see. I gotta read this one. His last email looks like, Dear Chef, Cider, and guests, today, July 28th, is the first time that I have listened to you live, and I just have to say that I'm genuinely excited to have the chance this week. Okay, so here is my question. Up here in Minnesota, I help organize and lead the monthly MN Bronies meetup at the MOA. I know that both of you, Chef and AP, do things for your respective state groups a good amount of time, and whether that is organizing events or helping out with random things, I have had some events in the past few months that I keep disclosed to the listeners out there, but to give a roundabout description, they involve a level of maturity and conduct thereof that I expect from everyone, including myself. Being in the NROTC here in college, I take a more proactive approach towards things like this, since I believe that conduct we show in public events should portray the best qualities that we have. For bronies, I have very little tolerance for conduct that could possibly put us and the fandom in a bad light. I just want to see if either of you have ever had to deal with such circumstances, how you personally have, or think should have handled. I have since taken care of the problems, and everything has run smoothly since, but I am still worried about the future and the obstacles that it holds. Nevertheless, I can't wait to see if you read this or not, and would kind of make my day, don't you know? Always a faithful listener and new responder, dash fast. P.S. I'm going to have to go with apple cider and say that Twilight is best pony, but my girlfriend disagrees, saying Fluttershy is.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hey, we're like soulmates or something.
Yeah, we're mirror like selves, it seems like. Let's see, Sandy, have you had to deal with some rapscallions?
A little bit. Not a lot. Thankfully, most of the people around here know how to control themselves. There was a singular incident when we decided to do a haunted house meet and people started singing in public. That was awkward. Thankfully, the spaghetti produced in that particular incident fed the homeless population in the region for a good couple weeks. But there was a good faction of people that were like, guys, don't do that again. And I explicitly said, don't do that again. That's not kosher, dude. This is a haunted house. There's dudes running around with chainless chainsaws scaring people. Don't sing Giggle at the Ghosties in public. I mean, it's thematically appropriate, but come on.
Oh, that's that. I'm now imagining that, and that is both slightly funny and mostly horrific. Homeless OCs. I think the only one that I really had was we've had the singing in public that was kind of like, however. There was one case where we just had, I understand that a lot of you are like, all right, time for crotchety old cider here.
Okay.
I understand a lot of you kids, you're really excited, but sometimes you just need to turn down your power levels a little bit. It's just too much for us old folks to handle. Get that cane, get off my lawn. There's just there, and that's kind of one of the nice things that we do at Bonk is that we have 21 plus meetups and we have younger meetups. And I'll admit, here's something I'm going to admit right now. I probably haven't been to a meetup in like 4 months. The stuff has been busy over here and I miss doing it. But I also enjoy hanging out with a little bit of the older crowd because I find that the younger crowd makes me tired. All that energy and bouncing around, I'm just like, Granddad Cider's got to go take a seat. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, you need to adjust that onion on your belt, son.
I'm almost 30. Sigh. All right. But, with anything, you have to administer a little bit. And, the balance is always, making it so that you can do that without having to, come off as being a big pain. So,
yeah, it is my firm opinion that the only suitable place for maximum power level volume, just showing, oh man, I really love rarity. I love, whatever, is private meets or at conventions, pony conventions. Mm-hmm. I mean, try to contain yourself a little bit in public. But,
spare the rod, spoil the foal.
Yep. So moving on.
All right, moving on time. That's the end of emails. As said, you can email across us at bronyville@gmail.com, and we can always add you to our email list. It's time for our 5-star iTunes bronies. These are the very excellent people who have left us reviews on iTunes over on the iTunes store. The U.S. side mostly I look at. I will probably do Canada next week because we are doing that button giveaway for someone who is nice enough to help out the Emmett and his nice little show for the Sunday service. But this week for the 5-star iTunes bronies, we're going to go ahead and do our 690 rating. So very thanks to Max's Sexy 14, Peter Baran, Shutterbrush, Ryuku 143, and Mac Ray Schneider, Sammy Runts, Tim Drost, I Wreck You Again, Tim Drost again, and Caden Jacoost. So thank you very, very much, all of you, for leaving us an iTunes reviews. We are at 690 as stated, and that keeps us up there against that heinous thief himself, Kevin Smith, and all of his entertainment podcasts.
Yes.
Blast you, Kevin!
Oh, I see.
I know.
Oh,
and
I see.
Super special extra thanks to Antonia and Eric for their awesome donations. They gave us donations, and you know, and they keep us going. It is, let's see, it is cool. Who you rock. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up a sound file. So, I mean, it's awesome that they do that, and it helps us keep going on the site. It helps us get to conventions, helps us fund the show and pay our weekend server admin. So I just simply want to say to them, hold on.
What?
Oh, hold on. That was really quiet. Hold on, let me...
You rock. Woohoo.
There we go. All right, a little Fluttershy added in there. I kicked it up. Don't worry.
Okay.
Louder. That's the way Fluttershy goes. Sorry, you don't hear it. So let's see. So that goes ahead, and that takes us to the end of the show. It's time for one cool thing. It's time for the one very awesome thing that you should check out this week. I'm going to defer to Chef Sandy because I don't have anything right now. So go.
I'm going to say that this is something that popped up on Equestria Daily a few days ago on Monday, July 23rd, 2012. Molded Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy. So they are the plastic molded ponies, similar most likely to the cake toppers, which puts them at a really weird in-between size. They're bigger than Brushables, but they're way smaller than fashion size, but they have molded hair and tails. So you don't have to worry about getting their manes all tangled if you want to, I don't know, play with them. But anyways, so they are paint them yourself, crafty things, and there's no real information as to where they're going to pop up. I'm going to guess that possibly they are going to be at like the craft stores. We're talking Hobby Lobby, Michael's, possibly in the arts and crafts section for some like Walmarts, maybe. Maybe they'll be in the toys. I don't know. I haven't seen them myself, but they are part of the Crystal Empire set of toys and feature these poor ponies covered in like stickers and drawings, and it's like terrible. They have terrible cases of cutie pox.
Yeah, all the like the demos of just like, oh, they've got all these stickers on it. It's just like, no, come here, Dash. We will treat you well. Yeah,
it's like there's all these like guide stickers I think on there, but you know what? Everyone's just gonna buy them and paint them correctly. It's like, no, her wings are yellow. No, her tail is pink. She is Fluttershy. We're not turning her into some sort of hideous DeviantArt OC. So those are cool.
She's got purple and black and orange hair too. It's Fluttershy. No, it's not Fluttershy. Fluttershy. It's a new character. Ignore.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what should I do this week? I am totally at a loss for one cool thing.
You should.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this because Starry has decided this week that she wants to take over the show. So during this whole live stream, just so you listening here, Starry has had the image here to a picture of herself, and the words "Starry Night fans are now hereforth called supernovas." So I just wanted to, since Starry wants to do this, I'm going to make my link this week the Ask Starry Tumblr, because she needs to do more stuff on it, and you guys need to
by getting her attention, maybe she'll get off her flank away. And.
Yeah. I mean, she could totally go and just post all the new button stuff that she's making for Everfree Northwest to the site so that all of you could see that. So that is askstarry.tumblr.com. This is the link posted in there, and I will link the show notes. So all of you can go check out the Ask Starry blog to go and ask her questions and see her images and, you know, just to harass her constantly. Absolutely just constantly.
All day, every day.
Just never let her go that she needs to update her Tumblr.
You know, never give her up, never let her down. Don't let her give you the runaround. And she's not going to desert you anytime soon.
I can't believe he's rickrolling his own show.
He pretty much is, which means we should end it. Which means like a perfect time to do that. I want to go ahead. He's gone right now, but I do want to thank Emmett for showing up. It's awesome to have another vocal individual and someone silly and fun to show up and talk on the show. So thank you very much, Emmett Hall, for showing up and for being part of our podcast. It is awesome. I want to, as always, thank our historian, our news pony, our storyteller, Chef Sandy. Thank you for bringing the thunder.
As always, you're welcome.
As the official thunder maker of the show.
Kaboom.
Official loose cannon. Thank you very much. And I want to go ahead and thank... Nice.
So anyways, yes. Follow us at bronyshow.com or bronyvillepodcast.com. You can email us always at bronyville@gmail.com. Join us roughly every Saturday, noon Pacific, at JustinTV/Bronyville Podcast. We greatly appreciate iTunes reviews. It gets us up in the ratings and leaves us on the front page. You can listen to our show on Celestia Radio every Wednesday from 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 11 p.m. UTC. You can follow us on Twitter. What is yours, AC?
That is Bronyville.
And I'm Chef Sandy. Our meetup groups are...
Bronies in Northern California.
And I'm the head of North Texas Bronies. And we'll be attending the conventions Everfree Northwest and Candlelight Gardens. Also, I will be attending the Brony Fan Fair here in Texas here in a couple weeks. It's the 8th and 9th of September, same month as Candlelight Gardens, and a week after Anime Fest. Wow. And I'll be down there and just tooling around. If you're in Texas, you should give it a shot. The information's pretty light on it right now, but it's only $20. And since it's in Austin, it's technically down the road from me in that it's only a couple 100 miles as opposed to a couple thousand. So you can probably find me there alongside with some of the guys from DHN, a couple of the guys from Equestria Daily. And I will have Inky as my wingman, and we'll be doing some video stuff and interviewing people and producing delicious content for you, our listeners.
You should do a show down there, Sandy. I'm saying. Give me a week off. Just saying. All right, well, that'll go ahead and take care of us for this week. This has been Bronyville episode number 65. Thank you all on the stream. Thank you all for listening. We do, as said earlier, love all of our awesome fans. So thank you very much, sirs. We will catch you next week. We're going to have the Candlelight Gardens staff, I believe?
Yes, next week is Candlelight Gardens, and tomorrow, possibly, keep an eye on the Twitter, we'll be doing a bonus episode.
Yes, we'll be trying to get some of the Everfree Northwesters on to talk about cool stuff, and maybe we can sneak a few exclusives out of them. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really persuasive.
Yep.
Of course, you will have to be live listening to this. If you are not live, well, you'll probably see this as an extra episode coming up soon. So that'll handle us for episode number 65. We will go ahead and catch all you ponies next week. Till then, sleep well, every pony.
Adios.